Selamat sore pendengar dan juga pemirsa RRI. Saat ini saya sudah bersama Sekretaris Jenderal ASEAN, Dr. Kao Kim Hourn. Good afternoon, Dr. Kao. How are
Good
you?
afternoon. Good, thank you.
Thanks for your time
You're
with
welcome.
us here. Okay, so my first question would be, we know as the ASEAN Community Vision 2045 is already adopted. And my question would be that, what is actually the ASEAN community can do to make this vision succeed?
The ASEAN Community Vision 2045, in fact, we call it short ASEAN 2045, Our Shared Future, which was signed and adopted by the leaders, including the 4 strategic plans. One for the political security, another for economic, third one social cultural, and that's in connectivity. When you say what can the community do, it implies what can the people do. And the people, you have the youth, you have those in the government, in the private sector, in academia and civil society. So they're very inclusive, very broad. I think all have a role to play to contribute to the realization of the ASEAN Community Vision 2045 based on the 4 strategic plans that have been put out to implement them. So it's not just the 20-year vision that has been adopted by the leaders, but of course they came with the 4 strategic plans, and then under the 4 strategic plans they have all kinds of measures and later on activities that we propose action lines. So also the ASEAN sectoral bodies, because each ASEAN member state has its own institutions, ministries, agency also, along with the established ASEAN sectoral bodies, depends on the pillars and sectors that we have, cut across all the pillars as well as the ASEAN connectivity. They all will be involved in implementing the Vision 2045, ASEAN Vision 2045, and 4 strategic plans. Now, of course, the people are not just the beneficiaries of this Vision 2045, but they also are the participants. They are the stakeholders as they are involved in different aspects. For example, just give an example, under the economic pillar, we have the ASEAN Economic Community Strategic Plan 2026-2030 for a period of 5 years. Under this, we see the private sector would have a role to play to realize, to work toward. Essentially, we become a single market production, for example, under the ASEAN Charter, which has spelled out this already. So I think it's there's many ways we can work to really contribute to ASEAN, toward the realization of ASEAN community on the one hand, but to benefit from this 20-year vision as well. So I would say all dimensions. I mean, the people, say the students, for example, they would have the opportunity to, I would say they can travel around within ASEAN region, working, of course, benefit from working with our partners, countries. And that's one particular sector. Of course, in the area of environment, say climate change is there. I'm talking about there's so many sectors that we would need to work together. So the idea is that under this Vision 2045, it's a commitment of the leaders, the policy makers, a commitment of the governments, but also all of this will not rest entirely with only the governments and leaders. They will involve everyone. So people will benefit. For example, just to give an example, like we want to see a stable, peaceful region where we can attract foreign direct investment into ASEAN. Like last year, we received $226 billion in foreign direct investment. Where all this investment go? Of course, it go to each member state, where investor will invest in certain sector. They will create jobs for the people. Now that's the benefits, for example. In peace and stability, by working together, we enhance peace and stability in the region, which is good for the people. So that it would attract investors. It would increase safety for tourists who are visiting our region. So all tourists coming to ASEAN because they believe that it's a safe and secure, stable, peaceful region. So they come here. Last year we had almost 130 million people. We're almost back to the pre-COVID-19 levels. Say in 2019, where we had received a total of roughly about 140 million international tourists. So again, this is a direct benefit that will go to the community, the villages, right, the people who work in the sector. I just give this example where we actually need to be involved and to benefit from this vision 2045.
ASEAN is increasingly attracting the attention of many countries. Let's say the accession of the Timor-Leste and also the PNG. What do you think? Why these countries interested to be a part of ASEAN?
Well, Timor-Leste and Papua New Guinea are two different countries.
Yeah.
Timor-Leste, as you know very well, that it is considered by 10 member states and Timor-Leste themselves that they belong to Southeast Asia, geographically speaking. This is during the negotiation for the ASEAN Charter, the discussion, the member states discuss extensively which country belong to Southeast Asia in terms of geography. So Timor-Leste was clearly indicated that it is part of Southeast Asia. Now, during the Indonesian Chairmanship of ASEAN 11 years ago, Timor-Leste applied to become a full member. Now, of course, this year, after 11 years of being an observer, back in 2022, as you may recall, the ASEAN leaders decided to admit Timor-Leste as a full member of ASEAN, but with observer status. And only in May of this year in Kuala Lumpur that the ASEAN summit decided that Timor-Leste will be admitted as a full member within this month later on during the 47th ASEAN summit. Of course, Timor-Leste is a country with 1.5 million people. Market size very small. And they believe, and they're right to believe, that they belong to this region. ASEAN has all the things that they believe that will benefit their country in terms of membership in ASEAN. It provides, it anchors peace, stability, and security. It certainly will help Timor-Leste on track to pursue the prosperity agenda. It will enhance Timor-Leste diplomacy because as a small country, you don't have the resources to open up all the embassies around the world. But using ASEAN as a strategic gateway for engaging all major powers, great powers, and other powers, this is the best way to enhance your prestige, your diplomacy, your visibility. I think that's what Timor has been doing. Also to attract investment, tourism, trade, and all of that. They had to hook up the economy of 1.5 million people with the ASEAN economy, which of course almost 7 million people. So market size is important. Today, ASEAN is the third largest trading bloc in the world, and of course also the fifth largest economy in the world. And it's on track to become the fourth largest by 2030. So we have all the positive ingredients that Timor-Leste would like to be part of it. And I think that's what they've been doing. They've been pursuing ASEAN membership for the past 11 years. They've been very committed. And it's good that this is on track to become a full member by October later this year, October 26th. Yeah. And for Papua New Guinea, of course, PNG has been our observer, permanent observer for a long, long time already. And I understand that there is a renewal by PNG of their interest to be part of ASEAN. So again, this is a decision will have to be made by the ASEAN member states with regard to the interests of Papua New Guinea.
So if we can touch a little bit about the crisis in Myanmar, we know that one of the ASEAN strengths is the togetherness and solidarity of its member. Dr. Kao, in your opinion, what is it actually that the ASEAN community can keep, what they can do to keep the peace in the region?
Well, thank you very much. Your question is a very fundamental one, a very important one. Peace and stability are the twin factors that a lot of countries, particularly our partners, they appreciate what ASEAN has done in the past 58 years since its establishment in 1967. Yeah. And with peace and stability, we have more opportunities. We would have we can attract a lot of partners to do business with us. So I think peace will be very important. Now, of course, peace and stability will also come about if we have unity and solidarity in ASEAN. And that's what we've been doing the past 58 years to strengthen cooperation, to consolidate the achievements that we have made almost in the past 6 decades. But at the same time, we have to promote the so-called ASEAN way, right? Yeah. The habit of consultations, the culture of dialogue, the consensus building approach. Every time member states meet, they're trying to build consensus or build conversions among themselves on certain issues. And that's why the decision making by consensus within ASEAN has always been the practice. And I think the ASEAN way is that we may take time to reach a consensus, but once the consensus is reached, it is unbreakable, and member states will be more willing to implement what they have decided collectively. So I think for ASEAN, with regard to Myanmar, that Myanmar has gone through a very challenging internal process. And while Myanmar remains a full member of ASEAN, but the domestic issues there have been a key challenge for not only just Myanmar, but also for ASEAN as well. So I think we hope that at some point in the near future, that Myanmar will be able to resolve their own domestic issue. But for ASEAN, we're always trying to help Myanmar, and particularly our ASEAN leaders. When they met here in April 2021, here at the ASEAN Secretariat, among the ASEAN leaders, under the name of ASEAN Leaders Meeting, that they agree on the 5-point consensus to use this as a political framework to assist Myanmar, particularly in reducing or eliminating violence, in promoting political, what we call inclusive political dialogue, and to support the people of Myanmar who have been affected by the situation inside the country. Basically provide humanitarian assistance to those who are actually in need. And that's what we've been doing since 2021 under Brunei tourism chairmanship, followed by Cambodia, Indonesia, Lapidor, and Malaysia now. So every year, ASEAN say take turn to lead on the implementation of the 5-point consensus. Of course, along with that, we have this special envoy ASEAN chair on Myanmar, who act on behalf of ASEAN chair, but of course also on behalf of ASEAN collectively, so that the special envoy can engage with Myanmar through the various stakeholders, not just only those inside the country, but of course others outside the country also, to make sure that we are dealing with all the stakeholders, major stakeholders. But the bottom line is, at the end of the day, it's up to the people of Myanmar to have their own self-determination. But for us in ASEAN, we really make a lot of efforts to support Myanmar on many fronts, because we want to see Myanmar returning to normalcy in the near future.
Dr. Kao, do you have any special notes during the chairmanship of Malaysia this year?
Well, Malaysia, took over the chairmanship from Lapidar at the handover in Lapidar last year. But for the first 9 months and 2 days into the chairmanship of Malaysia, I would say I would really commend the leadership of Malaysia for its strong commitment to advance ASEAN core interests, whether political security or economic and social culture as well, connectivity. Malaysia has made so much effort to lead ASEAN in a very challenging time. Because this year, as you know, why it's so challenging? Because number one, the war in Ukraine is still raging, right?
Yeah.
It's not, we don't see the war is abating at all. It's continued to intensify. Second, we see the situation in Gaza. It's, one can say, it's out of control, basically, because what we've seen before and what we've seen now is so devastating. And the human suffering there is just so unimaginable. Also, the trade, right, tariffs, situation in the world today made the global economies very unpredictable, and very much, I think it's so much uncertain to the point that it's not easy. And all of the ASEAN member states had to respond at two levels. One, of course, at the bilateral level. Second, at the ASEAN level. So at the ASEAN level, we're looking at how to minimize the impact of the current, what you can call terrible war, and at the same time, how can we consolidate the achievements, the progress we have made, particularly in our economic cooperation. As you may know, in the next several weeks, when the leaders meet, they will sign the protocol to upgrade the ASEAN Treaty, the ASEAN Trade and Goods Agreement, ATIGA upgrade. The upgrade will really put ASEAN on the path to become a single market production base. So this is a very positive one, meaning that we have to do more to promote intra-ASEAN trade. At the moment, we have roughly about 21.5% total of the overall trade. And of course, our trade is almost $4 trillion collectively. It's very large, yeah. So that's one that we have to do. Of course, we also work with our partners, because we have 7 bilateral FTAs. With China, of course, China and ASEAN, we have been our number one trading partner for the past. In the case of China, China's become ASEAN number one trading partner for the past 16 consecutive years. And for ASEAN has become China's number one trading partner for the past 6 consecutive years. But with this upgrade, we expect trade volume to continue to increase. Last year, we had about $772 billion US dollar trade. This year, we expect to exceed $1 trillion, I think, based on the existing number that we're looking at very closely. Also, we have to we continue to work with our partners. With Korea, we will upgrade by FTA next year. The announcement will be made later this month to upgrade. And then, of course, we will take advantage of our renew, particularly the upgrade of FTA between ASEAN, Australia, and New Zealand. which went into effect in April. So at the same time, we are now reviewing it with India. We have bilateral FTA with India. In fact, between ASEAN and India, FTA, Indonesia has massive trade surplus with India. All right, I just want to say that. Yeah. So India is not quite keen, you know. And also, we agreed to intensify our FTA negotiation between ASEAN and Canada, the first country in North America. So I think this is a really positive development. At the same time, you know, under Malaysian chairmanship this year, Malaysia, on behalf of ASEAN, organized a second ASEAN Gulf Cooperation Council Summit, or ASEAN GC Summit, in May, back-to-back with the 46th ASEAN Summit. And now leaders agree that we should undertake a feasibility study to looking at region-to-region FTA. So again, we are not only consolidating our economic cooperation within the region, but we also are diversifying, you know, our trade cooperation with other partners. So Malaysia is really handling a lot of issues now. With US, you know, very well, Indonesia hosted a number of special ministerial meetings, particularly the ASEAN Economic Minister, plus some of the partners like Australia, New Zealand, China, and Japan, for example, special meeting to discuss. And just last week, they hosted the 57th ASEAN Economic Minister meeting, related meetings with our partners as well. So to look at how we can work together to enhance our economic cooperation. But I would say that economically, despite the challenges, I think we're doing quite well. So in other sectors, of course, you know, during Malaysian chairmanship, we adopted the, as I say, ASEAN 2045 and the 4 strategic plans. They work on Timor-Leste, where we now become a full member. And there's so many things that we're working within this year. So I would say I congratulate Malaysia as chair of ASEAN for leading ASEAN, but of course, with the full support of all ASEAN member states, because the success of Malaysian chairmanship of ASEAN is the success of all ASEAN member states. The other issue, of course, Malaysia has been leading is the ceasefire as the chair of ASEAN on the border clash between 2 member states. And that has been a very challenging issue for the chair, of course, for our region. And but Malaysia has been very active. I think the Honorable Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim has been quite wise and capable, and very able to lead, and then trying to get the consensus through his role as the chair of ASEAN to really get a ceasefire in place and to trying to get peace and stability back to normal.
Dr. Kao, before we're closing, do you have something to add?
Thank you very much. I mean, certainly we looking forward to a very productive 47th ASEAN Summit and all the related summits that are coming up from October 25th onward, right, 26th onward. And other series of meetings include ministerial meetings and council meetings. This year has been, on the one hand, it's a very difficult, challenging year, but at the same time, there has been a lot of efforts to promote unity, solidarity, and central ASEAN. We cannot take things for granted, given the current global situation. So ASEAN collectively will have to make sure that the region as a whole, we have to continue to focus on ASEAN's interests and priorities as we move forward, particularly right now since we have a new 20-year vision. And I know that the 20-year vision, ASEAN 2045, coinciding with the 100-year independence of Indonesia.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Dr. Kao.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Demikian wawancara saya bersama Sekretaris Jenderal ASEAN, Bapak Dr. Kao Kim Hourn, yang berlangsung di Sekretariat ASEAN Jakarta. Terima kasih.